How to actually lose cortisol fat and tone up is very different from the standard fat loss advice that most women have been given. And if you're over 40 and you're exercising consistently, you're eating clean, and still gaining belly fat, there is a physiological reason your body is resisting fat loss. And in this video, I'm going to explain what metabolism actually means, how cortisol, insulin, and estrogen influence fat storage, and the science-based strategy that helps women over 40 finally lose fat and look toned. I'm Dr. Rosemarie. I'm a doctor of health psychology and cortisol specialist. I focus on helping women over 40 to stabilize their hormones and lose stubborn fat. Stay with me until the end of this video. You'll understand exactly what needs to happen for fat loss to finally start working for you. Let's talk about metabolism and how calories actually work. Now, most people think that metabolism simply means how fast or slow your body burns calories. But metabolism is actually everything your body does with the food that you eat. Your body converts food into energy, and that energy is measured in calories. Every day your body burns calories through something called total daily energy expenditure. This consists of four main parts. First is basal metabolic rate, or BMR. This is the energy your body uses just to keep you alive. Keep your heart beating, keep your lungs breathing, your brain functioning. Even if you stayed in bed all day, your body would still burn calories. Now here's something surprising. This accounts for about 60 to 70% of all the calories your body burns. Second is NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, and this includes all the movement you do throughout the day. So for example, if you're walking around or cleaning or standing or fidgeting, you're taking the stairs. Third is exercise. This is your workout. And interestingly enough, exercise only accounts for around 5% of daily calorie burn, which is a lot smaller than most people think. Fourth is the thermic effect of food, and this is the energy that your body uses to digest the food that you eat. Protein actually requires the most energy to digest, which means that protein naturally increases calorie burn during digestion. So when people talk about calories in versus calories out, this is what they're referring to. If you eat more calories than your body burns, then your weight increases. If you eat fewer calories than your body burns, weight decreases. But here's the part that many people miss. Your hormones determine how your body handles those calories, and cortisol is one of the most powerful signals affecting fat storage. Before we talk about cortisol, go ahead and download my 10 signs that your hormones are blocking fat loss after 40, so you'll know what signs to look for. Let's talk about cortisol. Cortisol is your body's main stress hormone. It's released whenever your body perceives stress. Now, short bursts of cortisol are completely normal, but when cortisol stays elevated for long periods of time, the body enters a protective metabolic state. So instead of prioritizing fat burning, the body prioritizes energy storage, as in storing fat. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism shows chronically elevated cortisol is associated with increased abdominal fat and insulin resistance. And visceral fat, the fat that is stored around the organs, has a very high number of cortisol receptors. So high cortisol literally tells the body where to store fat, which is why many women notice weight accumulating specifically in the midsection. When estrogen declines, as in perimenopause, the body loses some of the protection against cortisol. Estrogen would normally help you to regulate the stress response, but as estrogen drops, cortisol responds to stress a lot stronger, and recovery from stress becomes a lot slower. And all this time, your body is still becoming insulin resistant, meaning blood glucose levels rise more easily after your meal. So this combination of cortisol, insulin, and declining estrogen creates the perfect environment for your body to store stubborn fat. This is why some women will say, I don't know what's happening. I'm working out, I'm eating clean, and I still haven't lost a pound. I know, it's very frustrating. Let's take a look at hunger and fiber and hydration. Hunger is one of the biggest predictors of whether fat loss actually works. Your body uses several hormones to regulate hunger and fullness. Hormones like ghrelin, which increases hunger, and CCK hormone, which sends satiety signals to your brain that you are full and satisfied. Certain foods will make these signals work better. Protein is one of the most powerful regulating nutrients. Protein slows digestion, it stabilizes blood sugar, and it increases satiety, and it also increases the thermic effect of food. This is one of the most important things when you're trying to lose fat. Fiber is another way of slowing down digestion and helping you to stay fuller for longer. It also supports gut health, which research increasingly shows is connected to metabolic health and fat regulation. And then there's hydration. A lot of people mistake thirst for hunger. Drinking enough water helps to regulate appetite, and it supports energy production inside the cells. So the goal isn't extreme dieting. The goal is actually building meals that keep your metabolism stable. You want to also make sure that you're getting in protein, fiber-rich foods, healthy fats, and balanced carbohydrates. This combination of macronutrients will keep your blood sugar stable, and it will prevent the cortisol spikes that can occur when your blood sugar crashes. This will help you to distinguish between true hunger and hormone-based hunger when you're tempted to snack because of stress or dehydration. Let's talk about toning, because this is one of the most misunderstood topics in fitness. When women say they want to tone, what they usually mean is they want to look leaner. They want more shape in their muscles. They want to look firm instead of flabby. Physiologically, what this means is they want lower body fat combined with slightly more muscle definition. Toning is not a separate biological process. It is simply the combination of fat loss and muscle development. Many women worry that lifting weights will make them bulky, but building large amounts of muscle requires a very high calorie intake and specific training for many, many years. In a small calorie deficit, what resistance training actually does is it preserves muscle, it improves body composition, it increases metabolic health. So instead of becoming bulky, women typically become leaner and more defined. I get the question of whether you can lose fat and build muscle. You can. Research shows that it is possible to gain muscle while losing fat at the same time. This process is called body recomposition. It happens when three things are present. First, a slight calorie deficit, usually around 200 to 300 calories. Second, sufficient protein intake. You want to target at least 30 grams of protein per meal. And third, resistance training. When resistance training stimulates muscles, the body needs energy to repair and strengthen those muscle fibers, and it starts using stored energy from fat cells to do it. Over time, this is what's going to lead to less fat, more muscle, better metabolic health, and having more muscle tissue burns more calories in the long run than fat tissue, even when you're at rest. So increasing muscle mass slightly will improve your metabolic rate. Resistance training happens to be one of the most powerful tools for women over 40, not because it burns a huge amount of calories during the workout, but it's really because of what it does after. Resistance training improves your insulin levels, it improves glucose metabolism and muscle preservation. Metabolic flexibility is also improved, and it can protect you against age-related muscle loss. After 30, the body starts to lose muscle, and your metabolism gradually slows. Resistance training is the thing that helps to reverse that trend, and even 2 to 3 sessions per week can significantly improve your body composition. By the way, walking is also a powerful tool. It increases your movement without raising stress hormones, the way that some other exercises can. For women who have high cortisol, combining strength training and walking is extremely effective. I want you to download my free guide, The 10 Steps for Hormones That Block Your Fat Loss After 40. It will give you the right course of action if high cortisol is the thing that's preventing you from releasing stored fat. Let's look at sleep. We need to talk about lifestyle factors, and because Here's the thing, even if you have the perfect diet and perfect exercise, can be undermined by poor sleep and chronic stress. So when sleep is restricted, cortisol levels rise. Sleep deprivation also increases hunger and it decreases satiety signals. For example, one study showed that when participants reduce your sleep for just 2 weeks, fat loss dropped by more than 50%. The body simply holds on to fat when it perceives stress. This is why managing stress and protecting sleep is essential for fat loss. It allows cortisol to return to a normal rhythm, and when cortisol stabilizes, the body becomes much more willing to release stored fat. If you're a woman over 40 struggling with stubborn belly fat, the solution is not pushing harder. The solution is understanding how cortisol, insulin, metabolism, and muscle all work together. Once your hormones, your nutrition, your movement, and recovery are aligned, fat loss stops being a constant struggle and it becomes something that your body naturally starts doing again. Now that you know how to actually lose cortisol fat and tone up, you might be wondering, how do I lose stubborn visceral fat? You'll do it by watching this video next here, because when you pair what you learned in this video with what you're about to watch, it's that much more powerful. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.